Welcome back, or welcome to the Semian podcast. This is number 32. I missed 1 week, and it's kind of like, all right. I had this. We had this power surge thing in the neighborhood on last week, so like I had no power, so there was no way for me to to shoot anything because I couldn't charge the laptop. I couldn't even, um, the audio interface wasn't gonna have any power. The batteries for the camera were gonna be charged. So last week, no Samian, but this week we are good and um, yeah, welcome. If always remember that if you just want to listen audio version only, you want to go on the go. There is iTunes. There's iTunes versions of these. So all you have to do is go to the podcast on iTunes and search up Unversed Productions or the Sub-AM Podcast, and it should pop up there. We got weekly episodes. Every week new podcast is up, except for like unless issues like that come into hand, I was still able to make up for other stuff like live streams if you caught them or anything. I did put out a different video, so it should have been good, but it wasn't so great, I guess, from what I can see. I don't know, something different I wanted to try out, but I'm gonna still try it. We're gonna still try it. I'm not gonna give up on that, on the other videos. But let's get this started. Sum me in. We're gonna move right on to the big story. We're gonna do big story real quick because, like I said, we always first let's do the question of the week. We'll do question of the podcast. I don't know what to call it. It's just a question where random questions that I find or something, probably on Twitter, and they're good. They're pretty funny. They go back to like they're pretty funny. So I think they're pretty funny, but I mean the answers can be funny. So this week it's what weird food habits did you have as a child? All right, now I give you a time to think about that. Throughout, you can always just put down in the comment your answers. Now, example for this is like let's go with me first. For me as a child, for some reason, I had this thing for like honey and syrup. It didn't matter what it was. It just needed to be like honey or syrup. But I had this weird habit of just wanting to put everything with it or mix something with it. So instead of having PB&J sandwiches, I had. Well, Anna just went crazy. So I think the mailman just came. Instead of having like a PB&J sandwich like a normal kid, I'd be like to lunch. I'd be taking or snack. I'd be taking like either honey or syrup sandwiches, filled sandwiches. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like in the episode of SpongeBob. I think this is where I got the idea from it as well. Like he started putting jellyfish jelly onto the burgers. So what I would do would be put like syrup or honey onto my sandwiches. I even have it just like that. Yeah. Nothing like ham or lettuce or tomato, whatever. It was just filled with honey or syrup. And you're thinking like, why? What they got to do? Isn't that just regular jelly? Like, but no, but the bees the jellyfish in Bikini Bottom were kind of like the bees in the real world. So I would just assume, it was they were talking about honey or syrup. Honey, well, bees from the honeys. But syrup was an alternative, right? Another thing I would do with honey and syrup was, like those like sausages. I use them as dipping sauces. Whether if I was eating like bacon, if I got like a piece of bacon, I would dip it onto like some jelly some honey and syrup, and eat it like that, or some sausages. It was like anything. It's just like I would just dip. I would use it as a dip. So I had this thing for for honey and syrup. It was kind of weird. I don't know if that's like normal or something. And even when I was sick, there's like I guess some like if you have a sore throat or something, what I would do would be like, I mean they say tablespoons of honey is good for your like if you have a sore throat. So I mean I go with that, but then again with like the Mexican thing, it's just like lime for some reason. So I would like mix it together and stuff, and then just chug it down when I was sick. But yeah, those are some weird things. I mean, my weird thing with food was always using honey or syrup as either a dipping sauce or filling it into a sandwich or something like that. But yeah, that was all me there. So yeah, let's hear some of your. I've heard some weird other stuff too, like interruptions. I guess this is gonna be the first episode that gets cut out some parts. People don't understand, man. I got stuff to do. But all right, yeah, that's question. That's question of the number 32. All right, moving on. Big story. One of the things I say is, a lot of times in the news, you always hear negative stuff. Like there's never, they never talk about positive things, So we're gonna be talking about some positive things here. I always like to incorporate some positive stories into here, so it's not always negative stuff. But here's something fun that I found. Now I use this app called The Great Big Story because they got a bunch of great stories out there from around the world that people do. People either do or they want to expand something. I don't know. It's just like a bunch of good stories to read. It's kind of like, I don't know, if you're into Vice, you might like this or something. Vice News, you might like some of these stories as well. And for this week, there was two of them that I wanted to really talk about. We're only going to go one at a time. So, bringing gourmet cuisine to the skies. Now, for a lot of people who travel or something or go on planes, the food isn't always that great, right? Me as well. Me personally, I don't really care. I mean, food is food, right? But it could be a little bit better, but I don't complain. I don't complain about like the food in the planes. But I hear a lot of people don't really like it. But here, or I should have looked at the video real quick. But we'll look at this real quick and see what we think about it. So like, real synopsis of this is a real summary, quick summary of the story is: don't like airplane food? Well, you probably haven't sampled any of Chef Matt Farrell's dishes. He designs menus for passengers flying first and business class, whipping up high-end fare like hot smoked salmon, poke with mango, and edamame. I love edamame. I like salmon too. It's one of my proteins to go to. Edamame as well is like my green vegetables to go to. Buffalo milk burrata with cucumber ribbons and balsamic pearls. Sounds luxurious? Sounds luxurious, right? See what goes into making food that delights the palate at cuisine altitude. That's pretty cool. Being able to, you're on the plane and you're able to eat like fine cuisine type of food instead of the little, I want to say, seems like processed food. Maybe I don't know what the other stuff is, but it's always like pudding or something. It's not so great, but to me it seems like this is only for. I mean, it did say first class, so I mean, I'm only from what I can read is only people who can afford first class can eat that stuff. Everyone else, like the common people who take like coach, stuff like that, like coach or regular common passengers can't experience that type of luxurious. So that's kind of like a there's a pros and then there's a con to that. Like sure, like the wealthy people can do it, the rich people, the celebrities can eat it, the rich people can eat it. I mean, people who won the lottery can eat it. I don't know, but it's still a pretty cool idea. It's just, it'd have been pretty dope if it was available to more of the common passengers. Still cool though. I think it's pretty dope. Something, especially somebody who was into the culinary world for a while. That's pretty cool to see that somebody is willing to cook in the plains, because that's some kind of I can't imagine a lot of people saying, "Oh yeah, I want to cook on top of an airplane or something in the sky." But this guy's doper saying, "You know what? I'm down for that. I'm down to cook in the skies or something in the plains." So yeah, not too big, but still pretty dope. Let's move on to something like into the movies, and there was something I saw that's really quick. It was just like something short. See, it's just something short. And it's still pretty dope. I'm probably gonna look into the video more later for that. But let's go on to some. I want to talk about Hugh Jackman. So just recently, the what was it? The Grammys were like 2 weeks ago, last week or something. Last week, I think, last Sunday. Not the Sunday from here, but like two Sundays ago. And I believe. Alright, so let's see. All Hugh Jackman needs now is an Oscar to complete an incredible entertainment milestone. Because I think his movie, The Greatest Showman, won a soundtrack of the, I don't know, greatest soundtrack or something. Yeah, so the Wolverine actor picked up a Grammy for the Greatest Showman soundtrack, meaning he is just one award away from an EGOT. Hugh Jackman is well on his way to becoming the Greatest Showman after picking up a gong at the Grammy Awards 2019. The X-Men star is now only 1-0 away from collecting all EGOT, which is an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony Awards, which recognize achievements in TV, music, film, and theater, respectively. That's pretty dope. Although Jackman wasn't there to collect the award in person, the actor celebrated his win. Best compilation soundtrack for visual media for the Greatest Showman soundtrack in a video posted on Twitter. He was happy, obviously. I mean, who wouldn't be, right? Although the prize was earned collectively by the crew and cast of the hit musical, The Gong means Jackman has now collected all but one of the EGOT awards. The actor first won a Tony Trophy in 2004 for his role as singer-songwriter Peter Allen in The Boy from Oz. And in a neat crossover between the awards, Jackman took home the Outstanding Individual Performance in a Variety or Music program at the 2005 Emmys for hosting the 58th Annual Tony Awards. Jackman isn't up for an Oscar this award season, but has been nominated once before in 2014. He got a Best Actor nod for his work in Les Miserables. But if Jackman, 50, doesn't win an Academy Award in the future, he'll join the select EGOT group of 15 stars that have won all 4 prizes. The most recent inductees were musical stars Tim Rice, Andrew Lloyd Webber, and singer John Legend, all of whom won Emmys in 2018. So that's pretty dope. He's a pretty cool actor. Dang, he's in his 50s. That's crazy. Just needs one more, and it's too bad that I believe the rest of what's coming up next. I think Oscars is coming up next. But he isn't nominated. It's too bad. But I mean, for the future, he has been nominated once. You saw that he has been. For the future, maybe he might be. But that's pretty cool. I hope he really does get it. That's something. I think he deserves it. He's pretty cool. He's a cool guy. I think if I were to meet him, it would be pretty cool. Or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe he hate me. But that's something dope. I want to talk about another quick thing is. So if you got a sealed copy of Super Mario Bros, just letting you know that this thing is worth 6 figures at least. One was sold recently, so there's proof of that. So if you are a video game collector and you've got one, so let me see this. Video game collectors do not joke around. After all, three recently teamed up to purchase an original copy of Super Mario Bros. For the NES at the price of $100,150. I still complain a little when I have to pay $60 for a video game, much less six figures. So what made this game so special? Apparently it was sticker sealed instead of using shrink wrap, and only a handful of these exist. Also, it was preserved in incredible condition, Kenneth Thrower from Wata Games explains. So I can see a little picture of it right there. That's dope. So that's crazy. Three people teamed up together to get this game. 100,000, 150. That's how much they bought it for. So I mean, if you guys are out there, if you video games collectors are out there, and you got something like this, just a little heads up. It's a lot of money people are willing to pay for that. Man, I complain about $60 games too as well. You know, I'm like, well, I don't complain, but I'm like, wow, this is crazy. I mean, I remember games weren't worth much, but that's insane. People buying that kind of stuff. Speaking of games, just a little heads up for you guys who are addicted. Some crazy stuff. People are addicted to games, man. Let me tell you. And I think in England, so let's see, I believe it was in England. I was reading this story just yesterday. Computer gaming is an industry fizzing with creativity and wonder, but in its shadows lurks the growing concern that it's exposing a generation of to addiction. We're gonna skip through this, like summarize through all this because it's a pretty long story, but pretty much it's in the UK, and people, it was talking about people, or like kids, I want to say, tend to play more games than they talk with their parents. Now, that's crazy. That's going a little too extreme. So it says they spend up to 14 hours a day gaming. So here it is, a mere investigation found children as young as 11 are being taken into care over fears they are addicted to games. And it says, while recent studies have also revealed that kids are spending twice as much time using gadgets and phones as they do speak to their parents. And I've seen this as well here in the States. One of my little cousins, he likes to play on his phone a lot, or be on, he pretty much plays games on his dad's phone, and doesn't really talk to anybody else. So it's kind of, that's the thing about the gaming stuff. Like if you play a lot of games, you're going to kind of be, you're going to have a habit of not talking to people, and you're going to be like antisocial, antisocial. So gaming is not just for children, though. Around 32.4 million people in the UK play computer games. The vast majority of them studying graphics and gameplay safely. Now, it's not just in the UK. I've seen that when I went to Korea, the PC cafes or gaming cafes are packed. Kind of like if you were to go to a club, to like a nightclub or something. You know how those places get packed? In Korea, gaming cafes are also packed, just like that. Let's see what else. So it's like something to think about, man. It's not just in the UK, it's around the world. That whole stuff is... The UK games industry has a market value of €5.11 billion, pounds, I want to say, a 12.4% rise from 2016, but it is now being blamed for children blowing GCSE exams, students dropping out of university, and adults failing to hold down jobs. Now that's the thing. So if you got a problem, for real, there's a problem if you're losing your job, or you're going late to work, like for adults, because of video games, or if you're dropping out of school, not showing up to your classes, you're failing exams, and it's all because of video games. Like that's an issue. Now that's something you gotta fix. You probably should be going to like some I don't know, maybe talk to somebody or something about it. Like that's a problem. That's an issue. That is an addictive. That is an addictive stuff going on. And I do remember seeing something, and we talk about soccer here as well on the podcast, and I believe it was Dembele from Barcelona. I can't remember who. It was a Barcelona player, but there was issues of him not showing up to practice or showing up late because the night before he was playing video games, and that affects like Barcelona. Like they spend the money to buy this guy. They're spending the money to pay this guy, and he's not showing up to training. He's pretty much not showing up to work, or he's coming in late. Now that affects them because that affects the overall team as well, because if he's not getting the training, if he's not practicing or training or doing his job, then he won't be able to perform in the games, right? Hell, I don't think he's even going to be playing in the games, right? I don't know how they resolved the issue. I don't know if they have. This was going a couple months ago. I remember reading stories about it with Dembele from the. I think it was Dembele. But yeah, it's something to really try to. I don't know how people get addicted to games, man. It's like, I get it. It's a world you can escape. Trust me, there's no one better to say who loves video games than I do. As a kid, I used to play a lot of video games. I used to come home, but check this out. I controlled my love for video games. Like, I didn't let it take over my world. Sure, I came home from school, and all I wanted to do was play some video games. But here's the thing: I got my work done. I got my homework done. Then I would play some games. Did I sacrifice? Yeah, I didn't go play outside with the other kids or friends or stuff. My brother and all that, the kids in the neighborhood. And yeah, that did fuck me up real bad. Like, I actually did kind of become antisocial, and I understand it. And I can tell you that because of playing video games, I kind of like don't like to be around like people. I guess for some time I didn't want to. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to do any of that stuff. From experience, I know what this is like from experience. But you know what? That was all a choice. That was all in my head. I made those decisions, and I still do. Yeah, I still love video games. There's like so many games I want to play right now. Don't get me wrong. And sure, if a perfect world for me would probably be like something with music, movies, and video games, like all my life. Yeah, that's probably a perfect world for me. That's an ideal world for me. But that doesn't exist. That doesn't exist for me. I have to do other stuff. I still go to the gym. I still go to work. I limit myself to at least 1 hour of playing video games. An hour and 30, no more than 2. It's the same with my phone. Like, if you check my phone, like, it gives me stats now. Like, tells me how long I've been, like, screen time. In a week, maybe 2 hours. In a week. I'm pretty sure an average person would probably get 14 hours or something. 14 or plus hours, People who are addicted to their phone and stuff. Me, personally, I use my phone only for, like business-wise. To get things done, work. I'm always looking at news for the Summit podcast. I'm always checking up on the channel. I'm always trying to find new ideas, listening, just trying to find new stuff to be, creative or something. I don't know. But to be like on social media and all that stuff, no. Yeah, sometimes I'm like on Instagram because I want to post some of the photos, But yeah, you gotta. This is all. Yeah, people say they're addicted and stuff. I don't know. I should probably read into it more. Maybe say like get some like stories, words from the people who they were able to interview or something. It's pretty long. It seems like there's some quotations, so yeah, there's probably some stuff that people are saying. But I mean, that's from my opinion right there. That's my experience. Like, at the end of the day, it's you making a decision. You make your choices in life, and it's your choice if you want to be playing that long. And pretty sure it's a choice that you can, you can stop. It's easy to. I mean, addiction is kind of like, I guess in a way to say it for people is. Their excuse is no way. There's a reason why it's called addicted. There's a reason why the word is used as addiction. It's hard to stop, But whenever I was addicted to something, and I was like, you know what, this is really messing up my life, um, then I gotta stop doing this, and maybe someday in the future I can open up about some of the stuff I was addicted to, and you know, see how I've improved. But for the moment, that's just personal stuff. So we'll keep it at that. But yeah, it's not easy to quit stuff. It's not easy to stop doing something, but there's a way to go in a slower route. Start small, and then you eventually take bigger steps. Small feet, take small steps, and then eventually start sprinting. That's how it should be done. It's not going like stopping completely cold turkey or something. You can't. I don't think that's possible, or I think that'll just hurt you or something. It's just gonna be not healthy. You gotta take it slowly. So like, if you're playing up to 14 hours a day or something, or plus, take it down to like maybe 8, and then after like a month or so, or a couple of months or something, take it down to 4 hours a day. From there, take it down to 2 hours a day. And then an hour a day. But you gotta stop. It's just like, I think that's the way. That's the way I see it. Just cut it down like by 2 hours or something. So if you're going 14, go to 12, go to 10, then 8, then 6. Until you get to a healthy amount of time. But don't let stuff take over you. Like video games you can't let video games take over your whole life. All right, we back. Camera went out for a bit, so we didn't get to talk about movies to watch in 2019 for the YouTube version. So if you are on YouTube and you want to check out that list, go over to the podcast on iTunes, and you can see, or you can hear all the movies that I was talking about earlier. Which movies are in and which movies are. We didn't really talk about which movies are out, but which movies are in and which movies you should watch. Anyways, we're going to get into some soccer talk. Champions League is today. There is probably some games happening in a bit. So right after this, I'm going to go watch them. But before that, I want to make some predictions of the Champions League, all right? Now, I have made predictions of... I know it doesn't count last week, but, I mean, we're still going to talk about that. There is still a second leg, so anything can happen between PSG and Manchester United and Roma and Porto and all that. So, we'll still keep up the predictions. I'll probably make like a table of how I see the Champions League going, so we'll get into that as well. But for now, I want to talk. Well, welcome to Sumian, man. Welcome to Sumian Podcast. Whether you're coming back or you're new, this is Soccer Talk now. So you can watch. I'm just going to remind you guys that you can listen to this on iTunes if you're driving somewhere, if you're at work, and you just want to listen. Just go to iTunes, podcast, search up Sumian Podcast. And there's a part 1 and part 2. 1 being regular news, whatever, video games, movies, stuff like that. Whereas this one, part 2, will be, part 2, sometimes Soccer Talk. I'd probably just put in Soccer Talk, which is be for the football fans, soccer fans. When I talk about football, I'm talking about soccer. I don't mean American football. I'm used to saying football. But, because that's the right way to say it. I think it's the right way to say it. If I mean the other football, then that's American football. I say American football. If I say football, that's just football, soccer. Just me though. Hey, first things first though, I want to talk about voting. I'm thinking of putting polls, but I don't know if anyone's gonna be voting. But just a little couple questions I want to know. So like the other one, I have a question of the podcast, question of the week, whatever. Here as well in Soccer Talk, we talk about some questions about what's going on. So first one, it's gonna be two, kind of like a two-parter. So kind of have to answer one for the other. So first one is, we saw in the FA Cup Chelsea losing to Manchester United 2-0, and I mean that's another loss. That's a loss after a 6-0 loss against Manchester City for Sarri, and now it's a 2-0 loss to Manchester United. So Sarri. You know what's crazy? The chance of the game on that Chelsea versus Manchester United game, people were savages. They were saying like, fuck Sarri, you know? Like, show some respect, man. But that's crazy. That's crazy fans for you, especially English fans, man. They were also saying, what does it say? They said something else as well. I want to see if I can find it. I think it was, what was it? What was it, man? It was somewhere around here. Maybe I'm going too far. Yeah, I'm going too far. They should have been on. It should have been yesterday, so it's gotta be here somewhere. Ah, here it is. You don't know what you're doing. Oh my god, that's crazy. Now here's the thing. Being a coach is tough. It's not easy work. I play. I know it's not the same thing, but I play career coach, manager mode on FIFA, and it's not easy. It's not easy because you got to keep your players happy. You got to keep the fans happy. You got to, sometimes your goals are to double your club's worth. Obviously, I start with lower teams like Chicago Fire or something, and I do it. I get all that stuff done. Obviously, I know what I'm doing more than Sari does. I'm just kidding. All right. So the question is, Sari in or Sari out? That is the first one. The second one is Zidane the answer for Chelsea? Going off of that, so if you want Sari out, is Zidane the answer for Chelsea? This is all for my Chelsea fans. All right, because I'm a Manchester United fan. I'm a Manchester United fan, and I was happy they won 2-0 against them in the FA Cup. I'm happy they're in fourth now instead of Chelsea in the Premier League. So yeah, but seriously, is Zidane the answer for them? I mean, you've seen Zidane do the 3 Champions League in a row. He repeated the three-peat. No, he made the three-peat. Kind of like the Bulls did in basketball with Real Madrid in the Champions League. So, is he the answer? Now the thing is with Zidane, I think I saw somewhere that he would take the job if Chelsea keeps, or if what's his name, Hazard stays with Chelsea. I don't know where I saw it though. I saw it somewhere. I'm not gonna look for it though. Oh yeah, here it is. Here. Look at how good that is, man. So is Zidane only interested in Chelsea job if club keep Hazard and get him 200 mil? That's a lot of hefty stuff you're asking for, my friend. But then Chelsea has to think like, is he the answer? They're gonna probably look at the vote and stuff. But there's the questions for you guys. Sorry in or sorry out, and is Zidane the answer for Chelsea? But we're going to move on with, I want to talk about something, most valuable winger that was just announced. So just recently, Mbappe beats Neymar and Messi to most valuable winger. That's crazy. So he's like over 200 mil. He's rated 200 mil. Neymar is in second with 180. And Messi was third with 160. And just gives you interesting, Salah's in fourth with 150. He's tied with Hazard. And Sterling is in sixth with 120. Dybala in 7th with 110, Sane with 100 in 8th, and Ronaldo and still in the top 10 with 100 as well. And then you got Dembele in 10th with 80. So that's a list right there. Just going off of that, let's talk about the center attack midfielders. So you got De Bruyne in first he's worth 150. In second, Coutinho with 140. Third, Dele Alli with 100. If you're interested, in fourth, Eriksen with 80. Fifth is Isco, 75. Sixth is Fekir, 70. Havertz in seventh with 65. Tied with James with 65. Royce in ninth with 50. And Sarabia from Sevilla with 40. He's valued at 40. So De Bruyne is the most valuable attacking midfielder in the world. I saw something about here he goes, Kante for I didn't press read more. Kante is actually the most valuable in defensive midfielder, I think it was. I lost it. That's alright. I just wanted to see Mbappe. Oh, here it is. So yeah, Kante, central midfielders. Kante in first with 100. Saul Niguez from Atletico Madrid with 90. Pogba in third with 80. Tony Cruz in fourth with 80. Fifth, Milinkovic Savic with 75. Sixth, Sergio Busquets with 75. Seventh, Verratti with 70. In eighth, Casemiro with 70. In ninth, Koke with 70. And 10th, Pjanic with 70. A lot of time with 70, man. That's crazy. All right. That's I'll just something quick about valuable players. Okay. Transfer news right here. Real Madrid ready to get rid of Bale for 150 mil euros this summer. Real Madrid have decided to get rid of Gareth Bale and will ask between 120 mil and 150 mil on the sale, according to Telemadrid. It was due to come, man. I mean, I said it before. At this point, Bale seems like he looks to me like he's a good player. He's a great player. I think it was really dope that he came into Real Madrid. I was so happy. But back in 2013, so check it out. The Welshman joined the Spanish club as their most expensive player for 101 million in summer 2013 euros. 101 million euros in summer 2013. Considered to become the heir of Cristiano Ronaldo at Real Madrid. I agreed with that. The thing was, I also agree that I felt like Gareth Bale was like under his shadow. Like with Ronaldo being there was no way Gareth Bale was ever going to become like somebody, like the main superstar. Kind of like how Neymar wants to be, whether he was in Barcelona or PSG, but there's no way he could have, because in Barcelona, especially because it was Messi. King Messi is in Barcelona. You know what I mean? And now Neymar, I mean, we just saw he just surpassed him in most valuable winger with PSG, and he's still young. He still has potential to grow. So, like, I think he sees it now. Like, I came to PSG to become the star here, but now that Mbappe is going, I mean, he just beat PSG on his own. He didn't have Cavani or Neymar on his side. He looked on his left, he looked on his right, and there was nobody in sight. I was gonna spy somebody in sight, but he did it without them. Like I thought that was gonna affect them. I thought that was really gonna affect PSG, and maybe Manchester United was possibly could have beaten them in the Champions League. But we're gonna talk about that in a bit. We're gonna talk about Champions League predictions and stuff. But I think that's how Gareth Bale. That's how I felt he was with Cristiano Ronaldo in Real Madrid, with King Ronaldo, you know. But I mean, Ronaldo left, and obviously we didn't see what we thought we could see from Gareth Bale. At least I didn't see that, you know. It felt like he didn't want to be there. So I did say earlier in a different podcast that Real Madrid should consider selling him, getting that money, and buying somebody else. You know, somebody who can probably, like a future star or something, I don't know. So let's see. However, Bale has been struggling to deliver consistently and failed to reach the expectations with the amounts of injuries. Fair enough. He has even been relegated to the bench following the explosion of Brazilian teenager Vinicius Jr. Fair enough. President Florentino Perez has decided to listen to offers for the Welsh forward from 120 to 150 euros. 150 million euros. That's a million euros. Getting that much, though, may be difficult given Bale's injury history. It should also be pointed out that he doesn't have a great relationship with Real Madrid fans. After many years in Spain, Bale still can't speak Spanish, a problem which has also affected his performances. Manchester United have been linked with a swoop for Bale, who was named PFA Player of the Year in the 2018, 11 and 2012-13 Premier League seasons. He has just 6 goals in 19 La Liga. In 19 La Liga appearances so far this term. Now here's what's interesting. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of hefty money right there. Because they sold Ronaldo for 100, didn't they? They went 150 for Bale, and he gets injuries and stuff. Um, so they're saying they're going to sell him, but I'm feeling with these kind of prices, I don't think I don't think any club is gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna pay for that much. So maybe his plan is to show like Perez's plan is to show like, yeah, we're willing to sell them, but in reality, he's really not wanting to sell them. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. That's interesting. That's an interesting thought to think about. That's an interesting way to think about it, you know? Um, all right, that's I mean that's interesting to see. We'll see what happens. I don't think anybody's gonna buy him for that much amount of money. Especially me, if I was like in career mode, I always go with like they say 120 to 150. I'm gonna go down to 100, maybe less. And then they say no, get out of here. All right, let's talk Champions League. I didn't get to do the predictions here last time, but we're gonna do that right now. All right, because of the power surge, I didn't get to. I explained it earlier on part one. I didn't get to, shoot a sub me in. So, and I was planning on doing Champions League. Champions League predictions. This is the last thing we're gonna do because there isn't really much I want to talk about anyway. So let's see. So we got Man United and PSG. We saw that PSG won 2-0 against Manchester United. Honestly, I went with Manchester United winning that game. I was kind of hoping that, with Cavani out and I think Marco Verratti is injured. I don't know if he came back from it, but Neymar was injured as well. I thought maybe Man United had a chance, but I was wrong. But I still think I'm still gonna go. I'm gonna stick with it. Because I did make predictions before all these games, and I'm gonna stick with the predictions that I had. So, to be fair, I was kind of thinking Manchester United could pull off an upset here. So, just to be fair, we're gonna put Man United. Now I think PSG is just gonna pass, easily and win. But I'm gonna keep it as I had Manchester United winning. So we'll keep it at that. Between Roma and Porto, I was kind of like on thinking about this one, but I did say Roma. I gave Roma a little bit more favor. So we'll have Roma next. We'll see what happens. They got 2-1. They got a win against Porto 2-1 last week. We'll see if Roma still keeps it that way. Between Tottenham and Borussia Dortmund, I honestly thought Borussia Dortmund were going to take this one. They lost 3-0. We'll see what happens in the second leg. And like I said, I didn't make these predictions earlier. I just didn't get to, make it as proof. And I'll be honest. I'll keep it honest. I'm thinking Borussia Dortmund will qualify. So we'll see what happens in the second leg. And we'll keep it as Borussia, for me, qualifying. I didn't expect that one from Tottenham. But, it's not the same thing with Man United. It kind of backfired for me, but we'll keep it as Borussia qualifying next. I'm going to be fair. I'm not going to say like, oh yeah, I knew Tottenham was going to win. Alright, so Ajax and Real Madrid. I had Real Madrid advancing. So they did win 2-1 was it last week? Or was this yesterday? I think this was yesterday. Well, that was last week. So I did have Real Madrid winning over Ajax. So Real Madrid advancing. We'll see what happens again in the second leg. And today, February 19th, I am shooting this one on February 19th. So Lyon will face Barcelona in a couple of minutes, and Liverpool will face Bayern Munich. in a couple of minutes. So here's the thing: I think Barca's gonna win. I think overall Barcelona's gonna win as they're my number one pick. So Barca beats Lyon. Obviously, Mbappe is saying, I hope Lyon beats Barcelona. But we got Barca here. Between Liverpool and Bayern Munich, I honestly think out of all these games, this one is the closest one. Anything can happen, anything can go. I'm going to give Liverpool the slight advantage. So I think Liverpool will advance to the next round. And excuse me for burping and stuff. Now we got tomorrow Schalke 4 versus Manchester City. Manchester City for me is going to advance there. And then you got Atletico Madrid versus Juventus. And obviously Juventus. Well, not obviously. I think that can be a pretty competitive game, but I got Juventus advancing. As far as my 3 picks, well, let's go 4. You know, the semifinalists. Let's go with the 4 semifinalists. I think Juventus will be one of them. Barcelona, because I think Barcelona's going to win. Well, let's go with 4 picks, because I don't know how they're going to... I don't know if this bracket is going to go like this, how it's set up. So it's set up this way, but I'm not so sure if that's going to be the way they're going to keep it, or if things are going to change. But we'll just say my four teams. So Barcelona, Manchester City, Juventus. And PSG. Those are my 4 teams. Okay. Now, I don't know if they're going to follow that bracket like that, or if it's going to like change or something, like Barca will face PSG. Because there's a reason why Mbappe is saying, I want Lyon to beat Barcelona. I'm thinking like between, like if PSG beats Manchester United and Barcelona beats Lyon, they will face each other instead of, because it's confusing to me, like if PSG will face the winner between Roma and Porto, or they will face the winner of Barcelona and Lyon, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, my 4 teams are PSG, Barcelona, Manchester City, Juventus. And if I'm going to go with the semi-final way of this bracket style, then I'm thinking PSG, Barcelona, Juventus, and Real Madrid, because they're on the right side, upper right. We'll see how the bracket plays out, but yeah. So that's what I'm going to have it as. Yeah. It's kind of a little confusing, but we'll see how it goes. I know how it's going to go, but I know it's going to be a little confusing, but we'll see. Those are the Champions League predictions as far as it goes. We'll see what happens. And, I mean, you saw my 4 picks. And then possibly, if that's the way the bracket is going to... I don't know, the bracket's confusing me a little bit. Maybe it's just that I'm dumb or something. Too stupid. But, yeah, it's soccer talk. It wasn't much of a lot of stuff. It was mostly Saudi and Zidane stuff, Chelsea stuff, Champions League stuff, because it's Champions League season right now. It's back. And then, yeah. All right. Thanks for watching. If you stay tuned for the whole thing, thanks. It's a little long, got a little bit complicated, but it's because I missed 1 week. I needed to get some talking done, some opinions out, you know. This is number 32. Moving on to number 33 next week. You can always check out my live streams. Playing some Spider-Man right now. I don't know if I'm gonna move it off from story-based games into like Nintendo games. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, live streams, podcasts, and then I'll probably be doing. I'm gonna be editing some other stuff as well. So working on some other things as well. So stay tuned for that stuff. Stay tuned for more content. Weekly videos here. Weekly videos, whether it's news, trying to be funny. Trying to. I don't know. Just make sure to comment, like, share this video game stuff as well. I mean, the reason I ask so many questions is because I'd rather get to know other people than me just talk about myself. Nobody wants to know about me. I'm boring. I'm a nobody. So yeah. Thanks. Have a good day. Have a good rest of the week. Have a great week, guys. Peace out.